On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, Kidder and I are joined by the local geek. That's right, he's back, which is good because, we kind of missed him. And it's always good when we have the local geek here, but he's not alone. There's a surprise guest. Who could it be? It's not the surprise guest I was expecting, but hey, that turns out okay. We're going to have a great time. We're going to talk about a new storm chasing video game that's out there. We're going to talk about some storms and bad weather. I got some things you shouldn't do and a hot take. It's a smorgasbord of a good time. Get ready for laughs. Get ready for cold brews. Get ready for some meat sticks. And the end of this show is explosive because, hey, 4th of July, and you're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, pull pussies, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that knows all about rock. That's right. We're Geodudes. I'm your host, the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, Howard Blues, here, as always, kind of, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who's too busy streaming to actually be on the podcast. It's the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
I'm not so good. I haven't seen a damn tornado yet, and I was supposed to be done with this by the time we started this damn show. But here it is, waiting for the damn initiation with no damn comments on the damn show. So it's going to be a doozy of a show.
Yeah.
Maybe. So it's a good thing that the call for help is always there. It's always open. It's always on the line, as it were. Always being prepared for some tasty things and not hitting a tree at all. Definitely never hitting a tree with icy roads. Definitely not. It's local geek kicking down the gate to get into the yard of Townsmith Tavern.
This intro, like started off strong. It's just been slowly going downhill.
Just like I was in the game.
I was going to say, much like the viewership of this show. But yes, the local geek making his return to the show. Hey, don't crush my dreams, man. Local geek, how's it going tonight?
Did I accidentally stumble into the Rum Rock and Rivers bar again?
Probably at this rate.
I'm
been off the air for 2 years.
I'm going to say, people will probably be thinking that we've been pre-gaming before this episode, and I can say for 100% fact, I haven't.
You said that, and I actually put my finger up in the air. I put my hand in the air because I have.
I've been pre-gaming too, actually. I was enjoying some of the official beer of Farva earlier, so.
Oh, there you go.
Bought a Shiner variety pack and had a Shiner Black and the Ruby one. I can't remember what the full name of it is, but
we got ourselves a tornado, boys! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Get on there! Ski, tornado!
For those who are wondering what exactly is going on, Kidder started streaming a storm chasing game. I think it's called OUTBRK.
Yes. It was released today.
Yeah, so he was streaming it, and I even was in the comments for a little bit, and so was Rude Boy Kyle. It was good to see him in there. And anyway, he hasn't stopped streaming because he's been trying to chase down a tornado, and he just finally has seen one. But this is why we don't have an official camera on Kidder, because he can't turn on his webcam until he stops streaming, which probably
claims
won't
that
happen.
It's already on,
Listen, it's lying to you, and I'm sorry that your own technology feels the need to lie to you. And with that, I think we should try and get on with this show and to everybody's favorite segment of the show. We'll hear more about Kidder streaming in a bit. But gentlemen, it is time for What's on tap? And Local Geek, you're the guest. What's on tap tonight, sir?
Yeah, so I'm going to start off with one. At least one of you guys had a couple weeks ago. I don't remember if both of you did or not. The Pronghorn Peach Wheat from Phat Fish Brewing in Dickinson.
Nice choice. I think we have both had that on the show.
Yes, indubitably.
I don't know if Kidder's actually referring to the beer or the tornado storm chasing.
The beer. Yeah.
And I'm having it in the old Beer Blues BS glass. So it's got some
classic.
Very nice amber color to it. Ooh, smells very peachy. That is not bad. That's a pretty good beer.
It's very nice,
Good.
Local Geek, to say that.
It's got a nice peachy flavor and complements the hops that they used. And yeah, I like that one. I give it about a 3.2.
It's nice. You know, the Phat Fish Brewery has been pretty amazing as we've done this run. I don't know that it has scored too poorly amongst all of us who've had it on the show. Mm-hmm. It's I'm very impressed with it. So we'll have to see. Kidder, I'm going to hold off asking you so that maybe you'll be done streaming and maybe we'll get Kidder on camera for what's on tap.
I have Bud Light.
Okay. Kidder's got a Bud Light. Or does he?
I had a Busch Light earlier. I'm really taking on the Anheuser Brewing Company.
I mean, he could be. He says so, but we can't see it, so there's no proof. And
hold on. Let me stop. I'm stopped in the middle of the road. I'm putting my hazards on just for you. And here it is. Got the...
I'm just making sure we keep it legal here. I mean, the Local Geek's here, and, you know, I don't know if he gets to put it on the spreadsheet if he doesn't see you drink it. I mean...
For all we know, he's just got water over there. I mean, he basically admitted to drinking water anyway, so...
Yeah, that was the pregame. It was a Busch. I needed to be hydrated. Yep.
I mean, we're hearing the docile sounds of you enjoying what is a Bud Light, but we have no evidence of this, Kidder. It's
Well, yeah. I have an answer for that because oddly enough, I can turn on, and for some reason it's even black and white. I don't know why on the stream it's black and white, but it is. I'm not really sure why, but hey, you turn on the stream and you'll see that. It's in the recording. It's officially official.
Except that's on the stream, which isn't the main show. And a spreadsheet doesn't count streams, doesn't count the wrestling content.
As the resident technical advisor, Kidder, what happens if you turn your camera on the stream and then off, and then are you able to turn it on in here?
It does not. I tested that as well. Yes.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah. The whole turn it off and turn it back on again thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I also probably should have taken that left right there because I can't see a damn thing now. I'm going to drive right into the tornado. Why not?
I mean, worse decisions have been made on this show. Yeah. Gentlemen.
There it is. Coming over the hill at me.
All right. Stay tuned, folks, for more attention. Gentlemen, I have a beverage from the Boulevard Brewing Company. This is their Tank 7 American Saison. And it is part of their Smokestack series. It is 8.5% alcohol by volume, 45 IBUs. I know nothing else. It's got a very Ouija-esque tarot kind of design on this can. So this could easily be a real trip. We'll find out.
I am I'm right in the path of this tornado.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Well, that's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh yeah, that's a big big tornado.
Saisons can really be hit or miss.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't even really know how to describe that. That is It doesn't have much of an aftertaste. We'll start with that. Not much of an aftertaste. It's got a really potent punch right off the bat. It's hops, but it's not bitter. It's yeah, I don't know how you
Aroma? Or
it's
or
almost
there.
it's almost like somebody like carbonated a beer. Like it's got like a hops mixed with like
huge
carbonation kind of taste to it. That's the best I could come up with as a description. Well, this is gonna be a struggle to get through. I'm gonna rate this a like 1.5. It's I'm not saying that it's necessarily bad. I don't like it. You know, it's just weird and different enough. And it's 8.5%, so this is gonna be a fun evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it turned. Did it turn? Nope, it did not turn.
It's just hiding behind a bush.
I mean, sort of.
You're gonna get a little closer. It's gonna jump out and go. You know. Carry on.
And there we go. I captured a photo with at least 200 points.
I didn't know you could take a photo with points.
It gives you good or bad ratings with your photo taking.
So this is like Pokemon Snap, but with tornadoes. I see.
I'm sorry, I don't relate.
It's okay. I'm bringing out the Pokemon reference, trying to get us in with the younger crowd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta pick up my probe now.
Make sure you wash it. Anyway, Local
It's
Geek.
in the rain.
Local Geek, it's been a while since you've been on the show. We might as well check in with you. How are you doing? What you been up to? How are things?
Good.
How's life?
It's pretty good. I was actually going to steal your drink as a bit of a transition. While we're kind of on the subject of the saison.
Go for it.
I've been teasing the Borealis for quite some time, and I'm finally going to be getting around to brewing it. I'm hoping to do it on the 4th or next weekend, depending upon how things go. So it is going to be a Norwegian farmhouse ale, which is a saison is kind of related to. One thing I'm going to do that's a little bit different is I'm going to brew it with juniper instead of hops.
Interesting.
Yeah, I actually stole that idea from a brewery that I have been to out in Montana. They brewed one recently. And I was like, oh, I might steal that idea for mine because I was already planning on brewing mine. So
Oh,
I'm
and
going
there
to do
it
that.
goes.
But
It's gone.
other than that, I'm using my same recipe I was planning to use, which is a spotted cow clone. So it'll be kind of like a spotted cow, but with juniper.
Like a new Galeris spotted cow.
Yes.
Local Geek, I don't want to give you spoilers, but next week, or at least it'll be the week before this episode. So, but time you, the audience, are watching this, it's already happened. Go back a week. But for Local Geek, next week, somebody here drinks a spotted cow.
I think I saw something about that. Did you release a short on that already, or am I?
No,
Okay.
nope. But
I swear I saw something about somebody drinking one.
yeah, no, we haven't released a short about that. In fact, I gotta get some shorts up this weekend because we're due for some. So, that happened. So it'll be interesting to see how yours goes. You're gonna have to though make sure that you get it done and to us before August, because
Yes.
August is IPA Appreciation Month.
Not.
But it's going to be a farmhouse, not an IPA. So
Well, I know,
and there's no hops.
so that's why we got to drink it like end of
Oh,
July
I see.
before,
You want it before then?
before we get to IPA Appreciation Month. Yes, because all we're going to be drinking that time is IPAs.
Sure. I don't know if I can get that cut that close because it's going to need to ferment for a couple weeks.
Well,
And
then
then
it's
by the time I get it to you, if you're starting IPA Appreciation Month like a week or two ahead when you would start recording those episodes that come out in August, then we might be missing the cutoff. But
yeah, I wasn't going to do the math to make sure that the episodes aired during August. I was just going to go with record dates in August.
okay, yeah, we can probably make that one work then.
Yeah.
Just took out a stop sign for you.
Nice. Tink. Anyway, the inside joke, if you haven't checked out the Triple B gaming streams, go check those out. Especially the one that came out not too long ago, featuring Rude Boy Kyle, Kidder, and myself in the Peanut Gallery. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. We got to do that again, Kidder.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I did too. But yeah, okay, no, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to trying it. And we haven't tried the mead yet either, so I'm still
I'll
looking
definitely
forward
get you guys some of that. I did have a little bit of it a couple weeks ago, and it could still use some aging, but it's definitely starting to mellow out.
Hey, you take all the time you need. I'm just pointing it out that there's a tasty mead, and I'm excited about it because I've never had mead, so I'm looking forward to it. It's got to be better than this. So it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. Other than that, not a whole lot going on in my life, but I was on jury duty last week. The first time I've actually had to go in for a case that didn't settle. I was not chosen to be in the jury ultimately, but I did get to go through the selection process. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, I've gone through the selection process twice, and I've been kicked out both times. And the one time I really wanted to get selected. One, because I think it'd be interesting to serve on a jury. But it was a DUI case, and the defendant was representing himself.
Oh,
yeah. And I'm just like, this has the potential of being just like terrible.
right.
And I want to watch. So there's that one. The other one was I think a much sadder story. It had to deal with domestic violence and drugs. And I mean, I'd love to sit on a jury just one time, just for that experience, that life experience of doing it. But I wasn't selected that time either. So one of these times, I want to do it just once, once.
But one of the guys that was also in the jury pool that didn't get selected, he had a really interesting background. He was a deputy U.S. Marshal for a number of years, and his current position is Roman Catholic priest.
Wow.
I was like, how do you make that transition?
I mean, that's a transition, that's oof. Yeah, that is probably the interesting part of like the jury selection is when they're asking those questions and the things that people are bringing up like during that, like the one for the domestic violence that I sat in on, like there are people like, have any of you ever been in trouble with the law? And like 3 or 4 like of the older crowd like raised their hand and all right, what was it? Well, it was the 70s and I may have gotten busted for pot. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, we didn't get anything interesting like that in the questions they asked us. It was mostly things like, do you have kids? It was a violating a no contact order was what the guy did. So,
ooh, yeah.
But that was most of what the questions were about, like having family and having spats with family and things like that. So,
interesting.
It's so hard to drive.
Well, that's because you're drinking, Kidder, and podcasting. You're podcasting, drinking, and driving. This is not a good combination, sir. Plus, you're chasing tornadoes. You are podcasting, drinking, and driving, and chasing tornadoes. I cannot recommend this activity. Folks, if you're at home, don't do that.
Don't do this.
It literally said don't do that at the beginning of the game anyway. So we're covered.
I just wanted to bring back the don't do that segment, man. I enjoyed that little graphic I made for it with the Wilhelm scream and everything. I want an excuse, Kidder. and that was better than the thing that I had come up with to say don't do that. Which, hey, maybe I'll turn it into a hot take. Kidder, do you want a hot take?
Breathe this.
Huh? Kidder?
Yeah.
Hot take?
Don't breathe this, the blend tech.
Don't you mean Gentech?
No, Gentech was quite the formidable research facility. We are looking for many quite participants to take place at our new facility.
I'm gonna have to find that video and either link it in here or insert it. For those who don't know, like Local Geek, that's also the music on that one was great. Back in college, me and my brother-in-law, back when we were getting along, we entered it was a little film contest. It had to be a zombie themed movie, and so we did one that was. It was about how the zombie apocalypse starts, and it involved a bunch of random people going in and being part of a drug study, and it created the zombie thing. And we had a little ad for the company Gentech that Kidder made, and had like this like very upbeat song to it and narration and such. It was great. The rest of the movie was but that part was great.
Gentech is proud to announce the opening of facilities across this great nation. Gentech is currently researching medicines to aid in the recovery of people with cancers, AIDS, the Ebola virus, and influenza. Our staff, full of experienced research scientists, continually works to find cures for these dangerous medical syndromes. Since 1943, Gentech has been on the leading edge of research on illnesses such as polio and smallpox. But we couldn't have done it without you. Without participants like you, our research efforts wouldn't have been able to take place. Gentech is looking for people to become participants in new studies to earn up to $15,000 and other benefits depending on the study. So do you want to be part of history? Call today. Gentech, providing for a better tomorrow.
Thanks, man.
I did not edit the rest of the movie. I also did not write the rest of the movie. I kind of survived the rest of the movie. I'll put it that way. My brother-in-law was in film school, And so he had a lot of very highfalutin ideas about it. And so it was a very improvised movie. And so I will always argue that Kidder's part, the Gentech commercial, was the best part of that.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Hey, you're welcome. Also, the other part of the whole thing I should say that I enjoyed was we used a turkey baster to spray fake blood all over a window to get kind of a cool bloody, gory shot. And then I had to clean the window and the pavement so that Kidder got his deposit back on the apartment. I'm still sorry about things.
I don't know. As far as I know, I did.
I was just gonna say, did he get his deposit back on the apartment?
Listen, by the time that everything was said and done, and the things that his roommates did to him with that apartment, I was really the best roommate he had. Me and Rude Boy Kyle, you know. So I'll leave it at that because I don't want to, throw stories out that might anger people. But yes, I was the best roommate. You're welcome.
I got a couple things, but yes. Cut your ham one piece at a time on a china plate and cut an Ethernet cord and shave half of your body into the tub without rinsing or cleaning.
I mean, I wasn't planning, I wasn't really referring to Thule stories, but so anyway, Kidder had a roommate and I had a roommate too. We call him Thule in a different
I'm not
project.
even able to stay on the road with this story.
Oh, that's okay. It's gonna get better. Kidder knows this. For a while, I was working again with my brother-in-law. We tried to do a lot of creative projects for a while. Most of them fizzled, not because of me. We worked on a project called Indie Film. It started as the idea was to be a web comic. We then tried to turn it into a web series. He kind of failed on both parts on that, but in that, we did have the character of Thule, who was based on the real life Thule, except he was depicted as a hex head screwdriver. And the reason why he always appeared as a hex head screwdriver, because that's a worthless tool.
It's a good inside joke.
Yeah, thanks, Future Howard, for adding the little so that joke comes off a bit better.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was something I was going to say before we kind of went off on this crazy Gentech tangent. Trying to remember where we were.
Jury duty stories?
Jury duty stories. Yes. Yes. But I forget what my point was that I was going to make about jury duty stories. So, wow, we took a tangent. That was a left turn into a fence, off a cliff, into a rock. And that was just Kidder's driving during that.
Basically, yeah. Do I wait for the storm at the gas station or do I drive out into the massive hailing cluster?
I mean, I think you drive out. Meet the storm head on. Show it who's boss. But don't listen to me. I'm not a professional storm chaser.
Next slide, please.
So yeah, after my my jury duty, this past Monday, I get a text from my brother-in-law. We'd gotten a little bit of rain Sunday night into Monday morning, and he goes, "My basement flooded." He could rival your luck, by the way, Howard. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll check with my boss, see if I can come over for a couple hours, help you clean up. And my boss is like, yeah, that's fine. I get over there, and of course, barefoot in the basement to help clean up because don't want to be in socks or shoes or anything. Water comes up over the top of my toes when I step on the carpet. It's like that bad.
That is
So I text my boss. I'm like, I think I'm going to take a PTO day if that's okay, because this is a bigger project. And I was over there till about 3:30 in the afternoon, probably helping him clean up.
That's just wonderful.
We pulled a lot of water out of his basement. So
That's rough. That's rough. Yeah. Oof. Jonah, who local geek, Jonah, his family lives down on the river bottom, and so they've had several floods in their basement. So he's kind of a pro at flood control and cleaning. And once when we were working at the Science Center, I got a call because we had just a perfect rainstorm with wind that the wind blew all of the water on the roof, which was flat, over to a section that unfortunately had a leak, and it like flooded out. It like went through the ceiling tiles, it soaked the floor, everything. So we called all hands on deck to clean up, and like Jonah showed up and like hip waders and like 2 shop vacs. He's like, I'm ready for this flood. I'm like, I mean, the carpet's a little wet showing up, but I appreciate the effort, man. Wow. Interesting to hear that there's somebody who rivals my luck, because
yeah, he's the one. I don't remember if I said it on the show or not, but last winter he was in the process of buying this house. So he's only had the house for about 6 months. He ended up having a gallbladder attack.
Ooh.
So went into the emergency room, got that all diagnosed. And they're like, okay, well, we'll work on getting you scheduled for surgery. It was like a Wednesday or something. They said early next week, we'll have somebody will give you a call to get it scheduled. And Friday he had he had started turning yellow from jaundice. So went back into the emergency room because they told him, watch out for that and come in if you get it. So he goes in and they're like, okay, yeah, we need to get it out sooner rather than later. But the surgeon that was on call that day wasn't able to do the procedure for whatever reason. And that was on Friday. So then Sunday, he ended up having the surgery. And then surgery went relatively well. The doctor goes, there's like a 1 in 800 chance of developing pancreatitis from this. So what does he do? He gets pancreatitis. And then while he's in the hospital, he catches COVID. He ended up having a 10-day stay in the hospital for what should have been a 2-day stay after surgery because of all of that.
Yeah, that is right up there with me and my luck. Gosh. I mean, I was going to kind of go like, oh yeah, and one up it. But I mean, the worst I could say, like this morning I got up early because I was going up to Oscar Zero. I went and got in my minivan that we have for the site, and driving up to where the DOT fueling station is, and all of a sudden a little thing plops up on the screen on there that says, key fob has left the vehicle. No, key fob is in my pocket. I know it hasn't left the vehicle. I get up there, I turn off the vehicle, I fuel up, I hop back in, I go to hit start, and nothing. My key fob battery died. So, of course, and it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm supposed to be on the road by like 7:30 if I'm going to get there when I want to get there. So I had to like Google, okay, who's open at this time that may have a battery? Luckily, Napa Auto Parts was open, so I was able to get a battery. Nice. And I was able to start the car long enough to get it down there. I got down there, put it in. But not only did I have that, but like they also did not have like the 2-pack of batteries. So I had to buy a whole 5-pack.
Oh, geez.
Had a battery. So, I mean, that was what I was going to try to one up. But I mean, 10 days in the hospital. Okay, he wins at least this round.
Right. Yeah, it was just ridiculous when that happened. And we knew he had that kind of luck. So when they said a 1 in 800 chance to get pancreatitis, we're like, okay, yeah, he's can probably get it just because that's his luck. And then COVID went ahead and went up to the whole thing on us. None of us saw that one coming.
I mean, that is quite the twist, just, I mean, when I went through my health stuff, I mean, I think it's like only a 10% chance of getting a spinal headache from a lumbar puncture. And I ended up with one. And of course, the anesthesiologist who did the spinal tap didn't want to believe that I had a spinal headache. And that's where the whole living embodiment of Charlie Brown kind of came into effect, because I told my mom about this and like, well, he wouldn't, treat me for that because he thought it was still just the after effect of the lumbar puncture and told me just to go home and sleep and drink lots of caffeine. And my mom just goes, you did tell him you're the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, right? So that's where that nickname kind of came from, is my mom said it, and I've just kind of held on to it. And now I use it for all sorts of things, like I forget what the latest disaster was that we had, and my boss, came and he goes, why is it always you? I'm like, because I'm the living embodiment of Charlie Brown. She goes, oh yeah, I forgot. Oh, the tavern door is being kicked down. Ladies and gentlemen, making his return to the show, it's none other than somebody who's already been referenced this episode. It is Rude Boy Kyle. Kyle, how you doing tonight?
How's it going, gentlemen?
It's all right. We're giving Kidder a lot of grief because Kidder's finally here too.
There he is.
We've just had to look at his little picture for the first, 30 minutes of the show.
Or whatever feature Howard decides to stick on there.
I mean, that is true too.
Stick something.
Yeah. The only way you can guarantee that you're safe is you could edit this episode, Kidder.
Good.
So, we're doing well. How are you, Kyle?
Doing all right. I just fired up OUTBRK now that I had a free moment and saw that the show was going. So I finally got the invite for the show. So
see, Kidder didn't let us know that you were interested. Otherwise, I would have sent you an invite.
No, that's okay. I didn't know.
He's always interested.
I'm always interested. Whether I have the free time and faculties to make it is another story altogether. So
I have that same debate with myself every time I come down here to record. Do I have the faculties to put up with this tonight?
The answer is no, and yet he drags his sorry ass to the camera.
It's also why I have to drink on this show. Yes.
That's why we're here.
So what did you think of the first few minutes there, Mark? Are we on a separate topic, or I didn't want to interrupt?
Well, we really haven't talked about his streaming because all we've been getting is just his commentary as he's crashed into fences, trees, bushes, rocks, signs, cows.
It's also because
tornadoes. I
wasn't watching the stream, so.
Yes. So
Kidder,
you were.
Well, I figured I'd ask you. He asked the question, so I better answer said question.
I was just going to reiterate the question. That's all I was going to do.
Oh, well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so Kidder, you've been streaming OUTBRK. Tell us about the game and your first thoughts and impressions.
There you go. It still needs some work, as has been mentioned.
Should I refund it?
I mean, I'm 4 years past the point of purchase, so I did the old original backing. So that's I have a lot of fucking hope for it. The graphics look pretty darn good. I mean, compared to what they were 3-4 years ago. I'm sure you saw some of those, didn't you, Rude Boy? Some of the pre-gen stuff. Like it was rough then.
Yeah, it looks like it's ready for a PS2 release.
Yeah, I mean we're getting there. Maybe. So the driving mechanics were really bothering me because we're sitting there driving along and a skirt.
Yeah.
Didn't know there was ICE on the road, but
In the middle of storm
apparently-
chasing season?
yeah.
Huh.
Roads were a bit slippery for me, or the tires on that vehicle are just that bad. I don't know. But, yep. Trees were there. Found them. So.
Think it's worth using like an Xbox controller?
It would probably be a better ability to control the momentum.
Mhm.
Hopefully. I mean, I do have the controller. I could try that, but I also don't know what other buttons there are. Things that are available of what you can do in the game. 'Cause most of the stuff is when you get out of the car. There's 4 options when you get out.
Yeah.
So.
Let's ask the really important question, Kidder. How many light points can you customize on your car?
You only get 4 options.
Not enough.
Not enough.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. This is definitely not like farm sim or truck sim. Very disappointed in that.
Or flashing lights.
I mean, it's nowhere near flashing lights. Come on. Come on.
I just had to make the joke about flashing lights because we're talking about lights that flash.
Is that flash?
Yeah. Huh?
That is correct. So here we are. Drinks in hand.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
I was driving.
And drinking. And podcasting. We've been over this. Sounds like people are ready for everybody's second favorite segment of the show, and that is What's on Tap? Round 2. Drink! So, Local Geek, what you having?
I am going to continue the Phat Fish Brewery stuff that I got from Kidder, and I'm going to have the all s'mores porter, which I think Kidder just had on the episode that came out today, so a couple weeks ago once this one comes out. But
It'll be good to see what you think of that one. I rated it fairly highly myself.
nice.
Kidder, I hope you brought enough of those for the entire class.
Mm.
Go ahead, take a bite. Take it a
Do you
small
deliver?
bite. Sure. Maybe yesterday.
And the the economy in this game is unique, I'd say.
Yeah, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
20,000 coins for a laptop. But yeah, I'm still rocking the Bud Light from round 1, so that'll probably be my
Light.
drink of choice tonight.
This is much better than the last s'mores beer I had on the show.
It's really pretty good. I liked it a lot.
I think I'll rate this one probably about right in the middle with a 2.5.
Nice. Ooh, nice. So Kyle's got a Bud Light. Kidder, what you having besides the meat stick? Also tell us
Still
about
Bud
the
Light.
meat stick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me get the info. Mm-hmm. So this here is from Stan's Supermarket, established 1962, the hometown sausage from Vishik, North Dakota. You can call them up at 701-452-2351, 452-2351. Vishik sausage here. The beef sticks, homemade with salts, peppers, sodium nitrate, MSGs, garlic, soy sauce, liquid smoke, sugars, and spices. I was hoping for a little bit more spice, but I understand those Germans in Vishik don't like it a spice that much.
They have a sensible palate. So Kidder is rocking still a Bud Light. Gentlemen, like many times on this show, I've been known for making bad decisions. So I tried this. No, he's apparently in Des Moines. Who knew he was on tour? I had this Boulevard Brewing Tank 7 American Saison, and I figure I got to compare this to something. So why not, from the Boulevard Brewing Company, their Tropical Tank Saison. Tropical Tank 7 Island Saison. Let's get it right, Howard. This is also 8.5% alcohol by volume and 45 IBUs. I didn't like the first one. I doubt I'm going to like this one.
This one's tropical, so it's got to be better, right?
I mean, there's hope. I almost should, have a palate cleanser, like a shot of whiskey. But I don't have any whiskey down here, so we'll just give this a try.
Fail.
Well, that is this practically the same as this, but with like an artificial sweetness that like reminds me of like Skittles. So it's like Skittles mixed with carbonated beer. I like it better.
Sounds horrible.
I mean, let's see. What did I rate this one? Did I rate this one a 1? 1.5?
I think so. I think it's 1.5.
Hey, future local geek. 0.5 higher. There you go. I'm definitely going to be feeling these. The fact that it's 2 8.5%. This was a bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome. And what's also a bad decision, I'm gluing models together. So,
yeah. Have you glued your fingers yet?
No. Thankfully not. I still got 1, 2, 3, 4 to do, including one very chonky one that's going to give me some fits. Let's see. So we've talked about Kidder streaming. We've talked about all sorts of various other things. Gentlemen, anything else interesting been happening? Anybody see anything interesting? Do anything interesting?
Outbreak came up today.
Well, speaking of storm chasing, there's let's see, there's some tornado reports out to our southwest here by Atlantic from earlier. And of course, it fizzled up by the time it got close to me, but as is tradition. But
there was a pretty nasty tornado that just went through Iowa not too long ago. So,
yeah, it's that was let's see. Since my son was born, he is 9 weeks old, and we've evacuated. Let's see, 2 times when he was 1 day old, in the hospital still. So we had to go run to the bathroom, and then one time he was in the nursery, so he was in good hands. And then also another time while we were home here. So we had not a whole lot planned that day, so we decided to stay home instead of doing errands. But yeah, thankfully all safe. And but yeah, that was very nasty tornado up by Greenfield. So
yeah, you're gonna have to give your son kind of a fun nickname, like Summoner of Storms, or Stormbringer,
Yeah.
because wow, that's a lot of storms for one little guy's, for first 9 weeks of life.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's evacuated 3 times, and I think since we've owned this house, we've been in the basement 3 times evacuated. But yeah, it was amazing that thankfully the WSV3 software kept me up to date and had radar scope and had plenty of time to prepare and get all the materials ready to bring downstairs and decided to write it out. And thankfully stuff was fizzled out or was far enough away to have no damage here. But yeah, especially, he was just over 1 day old in the evening, and we were getting ready for bed and everything, and we had him in our room with us his first night. And then the second night, they were forecasting severe stuff, and had a friend visiting and spent about hour, 20 minutes being evacuated because the hospital, basically, if we were covered by tornado warning, I think it was within about 5 or 10 miles, but they put out a pretty broad polygon area which covered the hospital. So we had to evacuate to the bathroom one time, and then we were getting ready for bed, and we had sent him to the nursery for the night, and I had laid down and we were getting ready to go to bed, and not 2 minutes after I closed my eyes, I hear the phones firing off and another fresh tornado warning, and nurse came by not too long after, and she's like, I see you guys are up, but you guys have to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, it's amazing how you have a life-changing event of having your first child, and then you also have to deal with severe weather on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite the experience to begin with, but yeah, that on top of it. I mean, but hey, it's going to be a story you're going to remember forever.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all right. That's okay. Yeah. And I will say, if you ever get to the second kid, like it changes. The attitude towards that stuff just far different. When Junior was born, it was I stayed every night there. We kept him in the room. We did all that because we just wanted to be close to him. When little Miss was born, my wife sent her to the nursery every night so she could get a full night's sleep. I went home every night and slept in my own bed. So, it changes the priorities just a wee bit. But it is fun. Being a parent is fun. So,
I will echo that. Also, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Let's see. What else can we chat about? We've talked about weather. We've talked about storms. I have not watched anything interesting. Anybody watch anything interesting lately? Anybody catch some interesting TV? Interesting sporting event?
I caught the Stanley Cup Finals, which felt like they went and drew that out forever, but I understand flying 2,500 miles between Edmonton and Florida is a bit of a hike, but always exciting when a series goes to Game 7. And
especially in that fashion, because it wasn't, if I'm correct, because I didn't really get to pay attention to any of it, wasn't it like Florida was up like 3-0 in the series?
Yeah, Florida had a 3-0 lead, and Edmonton battled back and pushed it to 7 games. But yeah, still exciting. Probably the 2 best teams to make it, and cool to see Florida win their first cup.
And the NHL draft is going on right now in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Going on tonight.
Yeah. I caught a little bit of that when I was listening to the radio on my way home, and I'm just gonna say that the people over on the Fan, which is the sports radio station, they can go suck an egg, because the one like news guy came on. He's like, so and so was the first overall draft pick for the NHL draft. We'll have full breakdown in hour 4. I'm just kidding. We're not going to cover that. I'm just like, screw you guys. Not covering hockey. So I was not excited about that, but I haven't looked at anything with that since I've been home. So I haven't seen who the Avalanche have picked up or traded or any of that. And I know Kidder's been too busy chasing tornadoes, so he hasn't been paying attention.
I haven't had any updates for it. They did a trade for some draft picks.
Who'd they trade?
Something for the Rangers drafts, or, did pick numbers, something or other.
Picks for picks.
Yeah.
Hey, Kidder. I realized I asked you earlier if you wanted a hot take, and I think you said yes, and then we never touched on the hot take.
Yeah.
So
it's not hot anymore. It's fairly mild.
It's probably lukewarm at this point, but I feel like we got to get it in.
All right.
So here you go. A little hot take action. If you are going to use the self-checkout, you probably shouldn't have a cart full of stuff, especially if you are shopping at a place that makes the sales associate come over every time you remove a bag from the little bagging scale area. I kid you not, Kidder, I was up at the North Cashwise up here, and that's the system they have in place. You cannot remove the bags off of that, and if you do, the little sales associate has to run over. This lady had a cart full of stuff, and so every 2 minutes she was pulling a bag off, and then she'd have to hit the button, then she'd put the bag off, and the sales associate would have to come over and scan her badge, holding up everybody with this. So I was just kind of like, why didn't you just go through a normal checkout? It's so much easier. But
our local grocery store, Hy-Vee, they put in a new limit of 12 items max for the self-checkout. But I agree that they've kind of gone. I feel like they've jumped the shark on it being functional and convenient. When you run into those situations where you need somebody to come by and verify your ID if you buy something off the liquor shelf or the beer shelf, you gotta tap to put in your shopping card that tracks all your purchases so you get fuel saver points. You gotta say yes or no whether you want to contribute to big corporations write off from taxes for donating to hungry children or whatever it is. So it is
just take the dollar right out of the starving child's mouth.
I know.
Yeah.
Do they enforce that limit?
And then they have the nerve to flip the iPad around and say, "Are you willing to tip?"
Do they enforce that limit of 12 at the register, or is it more of an arbitrary honor system?
I haven't tried it yet. I'll have to try and find a baker's dozen of things and see if it locks me out or forces me into something. But yeah, it's not terrible, but when you run into inconvenient technology that leads to more inefficiency than what the system's designed for, it's like, well, how about you pay for some talent to open more than 2 registers to do a job, because you've done it before.
I'm not going to lie. I like self-checkout. I'm a big fan because I hate talking to people, and I hate having to maybe justify some of the things I purchase, because when
you're buying rope, duct tape, and lube, it's kind of awkward to go through a cashier.
Sounds like you're speaking from personal experience there, local geek. And I just want to remind everyone this is a family show. So, no, but I would have things Spray paint a lot of times because I'd pick up spray paint for models and such.
Models.
Yeah. And, you walk up with like 5 cans of spray primer and, you gonna spray running something? No, I just big collector of spray paint cans. I mean, I just
one of those days.
Circle gets the square, sir.
So I like the non-judgment of self-checkout, truthfully, So, but I know that there's been problems with it in larger cities, people scanning the wrong barcode so that they can take a bigger item out of the store or a more expensive item out at a cheaper price, or there's been a lot of theft with it and all of that. I get that. I hate those people because they're ruining it for those of us who just like our shopping with as little human interaction as possible. So,
don't you worry. There's armed guards in full uniform at Hy-Vee now. It used to be only like Friday and Saturday nights they posted them. Now they're there whenever the store's open.
Wow. That's got to be quite the experience, having to go through armed guards to just get your gallon of milk.
When I worked at Target in the Twin Cities area, they hired off-duty police officers to stand by the door the whole time they were open at the store I was at, too.
About 5 years ago, I was in Denver for a conference, and I had just flown in, just taken the train to downtown and walked to my hotel, got checked in. I'm like, I'm hungry. Oh, there's a McDonald's right there. Let me just, go down, go around the block and grab McDonald's. That'll be it's simple. It's easy. It's late. They had a full security guard and body armor and a gun, like enforce. And like I came in and when I stood up at the register, waiting my turn to order, and the guards like questioning people. They're like, "Hey, you here to use the bathroom?" I'm like, "No, man. I just want a quarter pounder with cheese." He's like, "All right, come on." I'm like, what is happening in that bathroom? You're scrutinizing.
That's the Hamburglar.
You should have asked for a Royale with cheese.
Listen, I was not in Canada. I was in Denver.
Okay, just ask for a tasty burger then. See what they say.
I mean, that's okay. I got my quarter pounder with cheese. Went back to my hotel room. Ate it there.
On the floor, sad, crying at the experience you had, or what?
No, that would have been later, because at that particular conference, here's a great story.
Okay.
With this conference, I got there, I checked in. I checked in for one night because then I had purchased to go. They did a excursion out to several historic sites kind of throughout Colorado. So kind of got to go on this little van trip of historic sites. So I had to check out of the hotel for that and then check back into it when we returned. Well, when we returned, it's not like I got the same room or even a room of comparable size. No, they were so booked. I was in a room that I could touch both walls, just outstretch my hands. Like there's a small path around the bed to the bathroom. It was this little tiny thing, and it was between the elevators. It was the great thing was I could walk right off the elevator and right into my room, but it was absolutely the smallest room I have ever been in. I was fine with it. My
sure they didn't give you the janitor's closet?
I mean, it was practically the janitor's closet. I was fine with it. My colleague who I was with, he was like incredibly upset that that's where he had to stay now, because he got like the same room like 2 floors up, and he was upset about it. I'm like, I don't really care. I'm here at a conference. I'm spending most of my time either exploring the city or at the actual sessions. It's just a room,
Just a room.
Just a room. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Any other interesting news, insights, dilemmas?
Not looking forward to go back to work in 3 weeks from now, but
yeah. That the time
12
was
weeks of paid parental leave has been nice, though.
I mean, that's great that they're giving you that. I got 2 weeks.
Oof.
And it was, you had to use your annual leave first. So that's why also I only took the 2 weeks, because it was like, well, I don't want to use up all my annual leave.
Yeah, I took about 2.5 weeks for the same reason. I had to spend my PTO time if I wanted it. And so I planned on 2 weeks, and he ended up being born on a Wednesday. I was like, well, I'm not coming back for half a week, so I'm taking the rest of that week too.
Yeah. I got pretty lucky with when Junior was born. My boss at the time, there were a couple of meetings that like she had me come in for, and it made sense for me to be at them. But then, like, on the day I was supposed to come back, she contacted me before. She goes, I made you come in for a couple of meetings. So the day you come back, which is a Friday, make it a half day. You get the other half. I'm like, all right, sweet. Nice. So I at least appreciated that thought. And then that was like, I got to spend that like half day in the office. And then while I was in there, our director said, hey, make sure you take 2 weeks worth of stuff, like when you go to work on, because by that afternoon we closed down due to COVID. So yeah. So I spent like a month out of the office, kind of. It was yeah. All right. Stay. Okay. That's all models glued. No fingers glued together. Thanks for your cheers and your support. Greatly appreciated.
Well done.
Feeling the love.
Disappointed.
I mean, JS would definitely be disappointed.
Maybe.
I mean, JS is one of the two people who tend to, cheer for me to glue my fingers together. It's him and Big D.
And they have shot number 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Although his new favorite now is to call 1 because he realized how bad number 1 is. So, well, listen, listen, I've been trying to drag this show on and keep us going, but I'm not going to lie. My life this past week has been like work or editing the podcast. That's it. It's kind of all I've done. So, I mean, I don't know. Sorry, I didn't set anything on fire. Haven't watched anything. Haven't played anything. It's yeah.
How about 4th of July plans?
None as of right now. I will probably do something, but
Our city doesn't let us shoot off fireworks, so we might try and find some display going on. But either that or find a local shop that we can find some sparklers or little things that won't attract the police attention. They said they're increasing the enforcement and giving out more tickets this year. So,
yeah, over here in Mandan, we're allowed to do them. So we usually get together with a group of friends on the 3rd and hang out, shoot fireworks, drink some beer, and then on the 4th we really don't make any major plans, but we try to watch the stuff that other people are doing. So,
yeah. My parents, since they live north of Mandan, their 4th of July tradition is to go to Dairy Queen, get a pair of Frosties, and then cruise the trailer parks. And that's where they get their fireworks shows. Because as my dad once put it, driving through the trailer parks of Mandan on the 4th of July is the best simulation of what it'd be like to go through Fallujah during the Iraq War.
we've got a couple that lives down the street from us that they spend quite a bit of money on fireworks every year. So there's always a pretty good show right near our neighborhood.
For Kyle, what you need to do is you just need to get like an RC car and then strap the firework on, drive it down the block so it shoots off. That way if the police come, it's like, no, I was down the block, officer.
yep. Don't know whose car that was.
Yeah. I don't, yeah. That would be
I know there's, even with the rules saying no fireworks, was it last year while I was at work, there's still plenty of very good displays around here that are either within earshot or you can see them, probably 10 to 12 miles away as far as way that is. But yeah, There's probably plenty to go see.
Yeah. Usually, my father-in-law buys a bunch of fireworks, and we go out there, and he launches them off, and we just sit and watch for a while. But he lives on the outskirts of town, so he can still do that.
That reminds me of a game that I found. What was it, around right after New Year's? It's called Fireworks Mania. I don't know if I talked about it on the show yet or not, but yeah, it's essentially a fireworks simulator. Got a whole bunch of different pre-built maps. You can go. I think I've showed this to Mark, but it's something that
Time to get her fired up.
plenty of mods that import like real world copies of popular fireworks and all that. So it's the game comes with a bunch, but the meat of the game comes with people that have thrown together their own custom fireworks. And one of my favorite things, one of the first things I did after I figured out the UI in the game was to walk down to the fireworks shop, which is closed during the evening, but there's this tool that you can, like a physics tool that you can move and place things, and you can set up sequences of different shells and whatever. And you pull the door off the fireworks shop, and then you shoot a shell into it, and the whole place just blows up. So it's pretty good. We'll have to maybe see if I can get a screen share, and I can maybe show you how that works.
Oh, you better fire it up, because it's time.
When I was a kid, one of the places that we would go to see fireworks was the Open Cut in Lead, South Dakota. If you ever get a chance to take in the fireworks there, it's pretty awesome. It's a giant mine cut, and they launch it from one side basically open over the pit, which gives it this really incredible echo. So it's like the fireworks just are loud and cool. It's great. But I remember once as a kid, we were watching, and we were maybe like 3 minutes into the fireworks show, and all of a sudden the hill that they shot it from just went up, and everything launched, and like it was just like crazy. You're just like, whoa, that's so cool. And it has not been that long. And my parents, realized what had happened, that they had a misfire and that it had triggered everything. And we're sitting there and we're just like, whoa, I can't wait to see what they do next. And my parents are like, it's over. And we're like, what do you mean it's over? And you just see the little ambulance going up the side of the pit to get up their lights on. And you're just like, oh, that's that wasn't supposed to happen. So that was a bit disappointing, that one. We had one other time we were there that was disappointing. We had low-hanging clouds, and so you waited that whole time to see them, and then they fired off one just as a test to be like, is this going to be any good? And they fired off one, and because of the cloud, the whole sky went green, like bright green. And it was like, well, that's cool. And then it's like, they're like, no, we're not doing any more. And it's just like, oh, well, shucks. So that was a disappointing 4th of July too. But when they have launched them there and it's been the right conditions, it's been a lot of fun. Right. Hopefully I stalled long enough for Rude Boy to pull up the thing that he was going to pull up.
Oh, I was supposed to do that?
Do you know where the Capitol shooting theirs off from this year? I know they're building a building where they usually do it. So.
I don't know where they're planning to shoot them off from. So maybe the DOT parking lot. That would be my next guess as to where they're doing it. So, but I haven't been to the Capitol fireworks in years.
It's downloading a whole bunch of updates.
Fired up.
Yeah, it's been a few years since we've been over for it too.
Yeah. One of these years, I haven't done it, but one of these years, I want to go out to Fort Abraham Lincoln and go up to Fort McKean where they have the blockhouses. because you would have a view of Bismarck and Mandan from up there. I have to believe that would be one of the most spectacular shows on the 4th, just to sit up there, because you'd see the whole valley.
Yep, either up there or up at University of Mary, you could probably see a good portion of it too.
Yeah, I would like to try that sometime, but we'll see. Maybe as the kids get older.
Yeah, this year's the first year we're probably gonna let the little guy stay up a little bit later because it doesn't get dark until like 9:30. So he's been in bed by the time all the good stuff started going off.
See, we tend to kind of have a rule in our household that if it's for something that's going to be like a memory, like, yeah, we throw bedtime out the window.
Yeah, we do too usually, but he's been so tired the last few years. We just let him go to bed because there'll be more 4th of Julys and
yeah, yeah, that is true. But
last year he had the job of I was lighting firecrackers and dropping him into a soup can that was about half full of water. So I'd let him go fill up the can with water after everyone went off because they emptied the can when they'd blow up. So I'd be like, here, go fill this back up about halfway for me.
yeah. Yeah. The interesting one, my brother-in-law worked for a number of years at one of the fireworks stands here in town selling fireworks. And so he thought that made him an expert in fireworks. And I still remember it was one of, like, my wife and I were still dating at the time. And I was over at their place for 4th of July, and he was putting on the show because he got all the fireworks at a discount. And he had one of the, like, multi-shot, fountains. And he didn't weigh the damn thing down. So it was just kind of on a loose board. So, of course, it tipped. And it tipped over, and it was just shooting fireworks, hit the house across the street. Hit our relative Shuey's van, put a dent like that in there because it just hit that. Shot over the little kids who were watching, like, on our lawn, like it went over their heads. I had to, like, duck behind a car so I didn't get hit. Yeah, that was fun. So,
You suppose JS is building another one of these?
I know he said he was planning to, and I think he even had plans to improve upon his design. So, we'll have to see how that goes. God, who was it? There was I think it was a YouTuber got in trouble because he actually took several fireworks, Roman candles, up into a helicopter and was shooting them at a Lamborghini. And he got busted for having an explosive device in an aircraft and got into some serious trouble because of that.
Yeah, I could see the FAA frowning upon something like that.
Yeah. But also, like, if you're a YouTuber and you have enough money to get, like, to rent a helicopter and or purchase a Lamborghini that you can just shoot fireworks at, you have too much money.
You can probably afford the fines.
Probably not the jail time, but it's I don't know. If I had that sort of money, I wouldn't be shooting it at a Lamborghini.
Right. So, I would need a lot of money.
Blame the pilot for
think about shooting at
letting that
Lamborghini.
happen. Pilot should know better.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with the pilot. I didn't hear that in the news story. I was just the YouTuber, but yeah. It's still, that was a terrible idea. Don't do that. We're having a lot of don't do that sort of things in this episode. Good times. Kidder's been awfully quiet. I have a feeling he's still chasing storms.
Nope.
We're playing Star Trek Online.
No. Wrong again.
You say that. You have like 10,000 screens over there.
I am not.
You say that.
You keep saying that I say that, but I said it, and I'm right. So there you go.
Just say it. You might not remember. You have been known to have short-term memory loss. How's the update
Right, I
going?
finally got it up. Finally got it up.
He's done it, folks. I see a dark street with some street lights. It looks like he's holding a flashlight.
Yep.
Some mountains in the background.
So
And
my
very
memory
patriotic.
serves me right. Here's the there we go. Cody's fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if the sound comes through. But here's the physics tool here.
Let's see. Make something blow up or something.
Here, I'll put a firework out and let's see. Trying to remember.
Daytime, nighttime, empty.
Oh, it's the tab button. So they have the built-in fireworks in the game. Come with the game. Some of them are pretty decent. So you can spawn these. Let's see. Like you can have it just wherever in the universe, or you can spawn it into something and it'll kind of fall down, kind of like that. And we'll grab the torch and watch her go.
Ooh.
Not getting any audio, but at least the video frame rate's all right.
Yeah. So let's see.
We'll add sounds in post.
Let's see. Yeah, they've got a whole bunch of cakes, novelties. There's a cat.
Maxwell the cat?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there's the tank there.
And away it goes.
I think what I was sad about is that it did not take out the vehicles. The vehicles don't explode.
You can still set stuff on fire. Just you wait.
I was gonna say, okay. We've seen some of the action here. Let's get to the story of. Okay,
So
he's taken off the doors to the fireworks store.
Yep.
For our audio.
They're out.
So-
They're out for lunch. That's what's happening.
So what I need is probably.
I mean, you could almost have taken that tank, line it up, and drive it right in.
I could try that. I could see if that would do it.
You better drop a few more fireworks in there before you do it, too.
Oh yeah, it's amazing because you can basically place things wherever you want, string together multiple items. So I've got that kind of lined up.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So we'll see if this does the thing.
Lighting the tank.
If not, I've got plan B.
It's going in. It's got to get past that threshold.
Damn.
Wait. See if it.
It didn't make it into the store, so I'm guessing it won't.
Boo.
Your stream of sparklers did not.
Does not reach any of the.
Yeah. I've got something else.
Sorry, Caillou.
It does eventually blow up, though. If my memory serves me right. Boom. All right. Enough playing around. We will, let's see. You want the Aquaman or the Batman or
All of the man.
all the man? We'll do the
Kitter's
3-inch
philosophy on
Batman
this is
show.
light it, blow it up.
That's right.
No, I'm an equal opportunist. I don't want to let anybody be left out.
So essentially, you can rotate the firework in space. Let me get it in the right spot. Make sure it's lined up here. Oh, don't want that. about there, and then right-click places it in space. So I'll light that one so you can kind of get a demo. We'll shoot that way. Oh. Then we'll light this guy. See what happens in the store. Oh,
Shooting it in.
oh, it blew up outside. It bounced out.
Boy. I hope they didn't patch this thing, because that would be pretty lame.
I think we gotta put it at an angle so you're shooting it more into the store, not directly in.
I also have better fireworks that I might do a better job than that guy. And just try a single M80 on the shelf right here.
This is the light it and run situation. He's lighting it. He's running out the door. And boom! And there we go.
Yeah, there it is. Constant explosions going everywhere.
Now we got ourselves a party!
Some of them even launching up into the sky. Oh, and the building is now on fire.
Yeah.
As it should be. Smoke bombs. Cody has got to be pissed at this.
Oh, let's hope Cody's got insurance.
Be sure to put your epilepsy warning on before that and edit.
I'm gonna have to. I like how some of the trees are now on fire. The truck has been blown up across the street. The building has been reduced to rubble.
Well, yeah.
And
a fun little.
This tree is on fire.
And
it's cool just to see what one does, and then you string a few things together, and just red smoke.
Yeah. Well, as Kyle keeps doing this on that overly patriotic display, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while. It's time we wrap this fiery episode up. And to do that, we need some cheap plugs.
Okay. First of all, beerbluesbs.com. Beerbluesbs.com. It's the place where you need to go. Again, beerbluesbs.com. It's right there on your screen. And Local Geeks. Thank you very much, Local Geek, for that reinforcement on the video version. Audio listener, smash the sub button, get the show notes, bam, get down there, check it out, have ourselves a good time. What I'm saying. Also, we'd love for you to buy some merch. Local Geek was enjoying his beverage this evening from another Triple B glass. You can get a pint glass. This is the standard Triple B pint glass with the website on the bottom, the logo, classy AF. It can be yours too for a marginal fee. Helps us help you. Okay. beerbluesbs.com and streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. It's right there on the screen for you watching the video version. And again, if you're listening to this, it's down below in the show notes for the audio version. So please click it down, click it off, and help us help you. You can also donate to the show by buying us a beer, buying us a 6-pack, buying us a round, maybe buying us a whole keg. That would be cool too. Get in there, help us out. Streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. You, yes, you. Yes, Howard. Get out your wallet.
It's upstairs.
Ah, man. Well, I know you know the digits, so get out that credit card. Make the site happy. Streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. Get that there now, because a little is $1. $1 can help us keep this show on the rails. Howard, not so much. But the show, yeah. I mean, look at him. He's drinking that beer. That's got to be terrible.
It is very terrible.
The Skittles beer.
Yeah, it now the sweetness is gone. It is just, ugh. So,
Yeah. Well, show's almost over.
thankfully,
On top of that, Facebook and Instagram. Please follow us on both of those. Search for Beer Blues BS, Beer Blues MBS. Either works. One beer, lots of blues, so much BS. Unbelievable. Be available for you anytime, anywhere. And that follow us, share, so follow the stuff, like the stuff. We'd appreciate your help to get the eyeballs of many more people to then like and share. So help us help you. Insta and Facebook, Beer Blues and BS. Other than that, we're on all the audio platforms for the podcast, like Pandora, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, Player FM, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. If you, again, Howard, have any and all of the accounts, please search for Beer Blues and BS on all of them and just click subscribe. You can share them too, because sharing is caring, and we appreciate that as well. That's pretty much the cheapest of the cheap plugs. Let's go around the horn with final thoughts. Our first guest tonight, joining right at the top, Local Geek. What do you got for us tonight?
Don't really have any major final thoughts, but I appreciate you guys having me back on again. It's been a little while, so I figured I needed to get back in and make my appearance.
Yeah, you're lucky. All right. Well, Local Geeks, Jimi Hendrix wannabe just turned on. So let's head on over to him as he blows this way with some final thoughts.
I think you meant Rude Boy Kyle.
I did.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Where am I?
Thank you guys for having me back again. And it was too long, so I gotta make it happen more often. But good to see you guys again, and hope you guys have a happy and safe 4th of July weekend and holiday.
Thanks, Rude Boy. Same to you, obviously. And final of final, our Blues.
yeah. So I have a good one. Gents, I'm glad. We knew Local Geek was going to be on the show. Rude Boy Kyle was an excellent surprise, but he really wasn't supposed to be the surprise guest. Gents, I had gotten a message earlier today that Big D was going to join us on the show, and he stood us up. So while we may not have had Big D, I will say we got a much better guest on, and if he ever listens to the show, he can be upset about it. But we had a much better guest on by having Rude Boy Kyle join us. Oh. So thank you, Kyle, for picking up the slack from Big
anytime.
D. Yeah.
Let's really be honest here.
Is he back stateside again, or?
He is not back stateside. I don't know. He just sent me a message, and here I get to break out the Big D voice again. He sent me this message at 7:27 this morning, and it reads, "Might actually be able to join you guys briefly on the podcast this time around. Fire the link over, and I'll see what I can do."
Yeah, that's a spitting copy of him.
I mean, listen, it's the best impression I do. Yeah, and clearly the best he could do is not show up. So, yeah, I was a little disappointed because we've been calling out Big D for a while now for the last few episodes, trying to summon him back, and then we've done it 3 times, and then he sends me a message yeah, I'll be on the show. I'm like, okay, great. This didn't take that long. Rude Boy Kyle, thanks for making up for Big D's slacking on the job.
Yeah, you bet. Well, maybe we can set up a Big D roast for when he actually does show up, or like a Big D intervention or something.
Yeah, we'll see. He's supposed to be in August, the last I heard, back stateside.
Mhm.
So we may have him back in August, just in time for IPA Appreciation Month.
And I've got a jar of Malort for him, so.
That'll be good.
Sucker.
Kyle, I don't know if you you know this, but Local Geek got us all with a mystery shot of Malort.
Ooh, nice. That is excellent.
So if you need a good laugh,
Yeah,
I forget which episode title it is.
I think
but
I
it
saw the
Mystery in the
Jarro.
Jarro.
Yeah. The title is Mystery in the Jarro, and that's what it is. It's Malort. So if you want some great reactions of all the rest of us,
Man, I wish I was there for that episode because, man, I'd love to see that live.
yeah, I didn't have the time to edit it, but I said, I can't remember if it was after the show or on the show. I think it was on the show that I needed to edit like the clip from you from the 3-year anniversary show where you took it and you sold it and put it on like the America's Got Talent stage where that's like you take the shot of Malort, sell it, and it's like the biggest talent because all the rest of us were like, oh my, I nearly I didn't throw
It
up,
smacks you.
but it caused me to drool uncontrollably for a while. It was bad.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
He threatened to ban me from the show.
Yeah, they eventually like, Howard, are you okay? I'm like, I'm just trying to decide how long to ban Local Geek for this.
Well, maybe it was my fault for giving him the idea.
I had the idea for a while, and then when you had it on there, I was like, all right, it needs to appear.
Excellent.
I did Local Geek. I did make a short and a reel out of us doing the shot of it. So it'll be a while because I'm kind of going through those in chronological order, so I get some of the older ones out, but it will appear. But yes, you can go back to Mystery in the Jarro and watch us all suffer through that. It's worth the watch, even if you skip to it. It's
I can't remember if you had a shot of that while you were here, Mark, or if you knew what it tasted like.
Maybe I did, but I forgot.
Yeah,
I remember what the last one I took tasted like, and
that's my final thought.
I mean, let's be honest. For Rude Boy to be here, no comparison.
You guys are too kind.
Through his promises.
He didn't promise us. He just
Unlike
showed
somebody
up.
from Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the point. I just happened to send the link over. Didn't even have to ask because it's an open invitation. There you go. Guy who says he wants to be on the show doesn't show up. So that's the difference between the Rude Boy and the gentleman from Indiana and why we shipped them back overseas. Sayonara, sucker. All right. Well, that's about it for this show. So before we get more hate mail, death threats, or anything else, I suppose we better get on out of here. So for all the gentlemen, I'm the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Kidder. Thanks for being here for this and every episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Remember, there's free beers tomorrow. Keep your glass at least half full, and we will you on down that tornado touching down freeway, Tuscan Highway. Have a great one. We'll see you on the next episode. Beer, Blues, and BS. And I did the finger point, but Jimi Hendrix is hanging out with Rude Boy tonight, so there's a lot of blow happening down south Iowa way.
It's okay. We'll make something work.
I'm guessing that's a baby monitor is what we're hearing.
What's that?
the static that comes across from your side.
What? Why didn't you tell me? Where's the static at?
It's
I
like-
have the ceiling fan on like medium.
Whoa,
Oh.
yep, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the fan.
Yeah, see,
He's blowing.
yeah, Kidder, instead of like telling you that we were getting a noise through, he just kept making references to Jimi Hendrix, because that's what we do to JS every time that we have noise from him, is we blame it on the ghost of Jimi
I
Hendrix.
mean,
So-
it's not like I have the ability to adjust my gain.
When
Which I
you're
do.
talking, it's totally fine. It's just when you're quiet, there's a little bit of a hum.
Oh, it's all right.
I mean,
And listen. The last episode we recorded, we had JS working on his truck the whole damn time.
I should just put a white noise generator. I'd grab the baby's white noise generator and bring it in here, and I can.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
Kidder, are we supposed to start while you're still streaming away?
I mean, I'm waiting for tornadoes, man. This is some high plains BS right here. This is just like what happened yesterday. Oh, well, I just did offend. This is don't podcast and drive, people. Okay, the good thing is that
Wait.
this is also recorded, and so you have a baseline to be able to tie in this video with the other video.
I just want to know what happened to this pristine driving record you brag about. You know, this pristine record. You just drove into a
pristine in what?
fence. Listen, you're the one who bragged that you have a pristine driving record, and then you're just crashing into fences.
When have I ever said that?
In the mini episode that we did.
Oh, did I? Was I drunk at the time?
No, you weren't.
No.
But
I probably was. Let's be honest here.
so before I kick this off, Kira, are you gonna turn on your camera, or is
I have to stop streaming for it to actually work, even though it's not actually using my camera.
oh
It's very helpful. Very helpful.
well? On the bright side, I have a lot of stock like footage of just like screen grabs I've grabbed of you, so I'll just put one of those up.
I mean, probably. Actually, I might be able to. Well, I don't want to share my screen because I'm recording both of you, and it's kind of funny just seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm in a
Well.
severe thunderstorm warning, gentlemen. This is good stuff. Yeah, kind of like the other night, right?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention the other night.
You should have.
I was sleeping, you know.
We could have died, Howard, and your excuse to sleep was more important than your safety.
We were threatening something called gorilla hail.
Yeah. It didn't happen here, but it sure happened.
Listen. I took my chances. I went to sleep, but we're wasting good material here on Behind the Curtain.
You started it.
I did not start it. I just asked a simple question about your camera.
Yeah, you started it.
Listen, I didn't start the fire. It's always been burning.
Since the world was turning.